Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez should be a classic fight. Before I get into the video, if you appreciate someone who likes to keep it 100 on sports and on trending topics, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the show. When you look at this fight, Terence Crawford is one of the best switch hitters of all time. He reminds me of the great Marvin Hagler, who's one of my favorite fighters of all time. He was an excellent switch hitter who had devastating power. Kind of fought like Mike Tyson, one of the best middleweight fighters of all time. He fights just like him. When you look at Crawford, he usually starts off kind of slow, processing his opponents. And then once he receives enough information on his fighter, he just goes to work. Terence Crawford has moved up 2 weight classes. That means your reflexes are a little slower. In the last fight, his last couple fights, early in the fights, you can touch Crawford. You know, he be trying to feel you out, trying to figure out how he gonna counterpunch you. You can touch him early. In the last fight, you know, it was his first fight at that size, at 168. Crawford, you know, he had trouble with the feints from dude. You know, dude was feinting, getting in that popping Crawford, and we don't usually see that, you know. Crawford must be sharp, because if he get hit with one of them hooks by Canelo, it could be night-night, man. Especially one of them vicious ones. Left or right, but especially left. Crawford's so good defensively, though. Will he be able to touch him? I don't know. Only time will tell. Crawford is a wizard in the ring. You know, he done studied guys like Mayweather, Whitaker, who had excellent defenses. So I think the only way Canelo gonna really be able to touch Crawford is with the jab. Can Canelo crack Crawford's defense? Only time will tell. If you're enjoying the video so far, do me a favor and thumbs that thing up. Let's get back to this. Crawford likes to drop his guard when he swing at times. That could be trouble, man. Canelo good at keying in on that with a sharp, quick hook. While Crawford is swinging, that could be night-night, man, or at least a knockdown. Crawford has to decide which body part he's going to block, his head or his body, you know, because if he doesn't cover his body, Canelo gonna hook him, man. And if he don't protect that body, he gonna hook him. Canelo likes to throw at the body. Will Crawford be able to move quick enough to avoid Canelo's attack? Pace gonna be key in this one. You know, I feel if Crawford is on the attack, you know, he's really connecting and throwing bombs at Canelo, he could be in trouble because he doesn't like to fight like that. You go and watch the Bevel fight. You will see exactly what I'm talking about. Bevel was able to keep him out of position, you know. He made Canelo think in that fight. Canelo likes a slow, grinded out pace. That favors him. He likes to fight like this because, you know, it gives him time to process and counter. When you look at both fighters, Canelo is the bigger fighter. He's going to use his physicality to try to bully Bud in the ring. But Bud's footwork is too cold. It's too good. I don't think Canelo going to be able to touch him. One thing we do know, though, both fighters should have the performance of their life. You know, a lot of people say Terence Crawford's resume is not really impressive. That may be so. When you look at Canelo, it seems like he done fought everyone. But is he a little past his prime? Will Bud Crawford shock the world once again? You know, him going up against Spence. Everybody had Spence winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? Crawford has shocked the world his entire career. Will he do it again? Or will the experience of Canelo, the weight advantage, the power advantage, will it be too much for Crawford to handle? Respect will be earned in this one. Canelo has fought at 168 for 3 years, and he has dominated with his power and durability. It has been on display. If Canelo catches Crawford with a counter, man, the fight could be all over, man. Because Bud Crawford has never fought at that size. He hasn't taken a punch from a guy, with the smarts and power like Canelo, Coming up 2 weight classes, that's no joke. That's not easy to do. You have to be a dog to do that. And we will see if Terence Crawford is a dog, Terence Crawford is a technician, a wizard in that ring. He has supreme boxing skills that can neutralize Canelo just enough to get the win. Bivol beat Canelo. Crawford is a better boxer than Bivol. So off of that, I feel Crawford should be favored to win. Crawford likes to probe with his lead hand, which opens him up for counter punches. Canelo likes to throw power shots, especially to the body when he fights fighters in that southpaw stance. Crawford likes to switch stances. He's a switch hitter. But you see, Crawford lead hand probe and them feints, man, he could slow Canelo down for stretches in the fight, just giving Crawford rounds. Canelo flat-footed. Being flat-footed has its advantages and disadvantages. One disadvantage is that he puts most of his weight on one foot, and that makes it easy to knock him off balance. If Crawford recognizes that and throws that jab repeatedly, man, telling you, he could do some damage right there. And Crawford should be able to pick apart Canelo's high guard. Bivol picked Canelo's high guard apart. Crawford's a better boxer. Crawford gonna eat that up, man. I'm interested to see how Canelo adjusts to that. Another thing, Canelo must have his guard up at all times because Crawford is great when he's out of position at throwing power shots. When he's not in range. Canelo likes to drop his guard when he's not in range. He must keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Crawford sneaky, Canelo sneaky. But Crawford gonna go for it. I could just see it. Don't get it twisted though. Canelo was born to fight. He likes to attack opponents when they move in a straight line going backwards. He likes to double jab and use jab feints that lead straight into power shots. Bud's footwork must be elite in this one. If he backs up in a straight line instead of turn and step off, oh man, he's gonna be trouble. You know why? Because Canelo is an expert at cutting off the ring. But Crawford is just an expert at setting traps. Like I mentioned earlier, and throwing unexpectedly. Canelo better keep them guards up, man. Real talk. Canelo feints in this fight should be key though. When you look at Crawford last fight, dude was feinting all day. He was feinting and he was popping Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Now Crawford is a little bigger. Man, that movement a little slower. Canelo is real good at feinting, man. Saying all that, Crawford has the best lateral movement in boxing. He's had that for years. Canelo is not really good at moving lateral. Canelo be using them feints. He used feints to set up power shots, pre-slips, jab feints, foot feints, and level changes. His feints disrupt his opponents and the timing. Canelo must keep that guard up, man. If Bivol was able to pick apart that high guard, Crawford gonna be able to do it too. So we gonna see which boxer will be able to make the adjustments on the fly and get the win. If you find yourself enjoying the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section who y'all have winning this fight and what round you have them winning it. I see y'all on the next one, people. Stay blessed out there. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it.